Have you ever noticed how some people seem to have all the luck, while others, just as smart, just as capable, stay stuck in the exact same place? We tell ourselves it's about talent or opportunity or maybe even destiny. But what if the real difference is something much smaller, something we barely even notice? Today's story is about that invisible force. It's about a boy who dreamed of reaching the stars but refused to lift his feet off the ground. In a small, dusty village named Hargpur, surrounded by fields of mustard and the sound of temple bells, there lived a boy named Rohan. Rohan had a head full of dreams. He wanted to be an officer, to wear a crisp uniform, to command respect. He would stare at the sky and imagine himself achieving great things while lying flat on his charpoy, doing absolutely nothing to get there. Every morning, his father would call him, "Rohan, the day has started." And every morning, Rohan would pull the blanket over his head, muttering, "Just a little more." He believed that success was a destination you arrived at, not a path you walked. He admired the successful people in his town. He saw the station master, always on time, his whistle sharp and precise. He saw the local wrestler at the Akhada, practicing the same moves at dawn every single day, his body a testament to relentless effort. Rohan wanted the result, but he was allergic to the routine. One day he'd study furiously, the next he'd forget his books entirely. He was a master of the burst, but a stranger to consistency. At the edge of the village, near the old banyan tree, lived a man everyone called Bhaiji. He was a simple man who ran a small tea stall, but his tea was legendary. People didn't just come for the chai, they came for his quiet wisdom. One evening, Rohan sat at his stall, sipping tea and watching Bhaiji methodically clean every glass, wipe every surface, and arrange the stools perfectly, even though the stall was closing. Rohan asked, "Bhaiji, you do this every day. Doesn't it get boring? Don't you ever just want to leave it messy and go home?" Bhaiji chuckled, his eyes crinkling. "Rohan," he said, "look at this wall here." He pointed to a small crack in the mud wall. A few months ago, it was just a tiny hairline, but every day a little wind, a little rain, a little dust got in. I ignored it. Now it's a crack I have to fix. Habits are like that. Good ones build you up, one tiny brick at a time. Bad ones tear you down, one tiny crack at a time. You can't see the change in a day, but you feel it in a lifetime. That night, Rohan couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about that crack. He thought about his own life. He wasn't failing because of one big mistake. He was failing because of 1,000 tiny neglects. The next morning, when his father called, Rohan didn't argue. He got up. He didn't run a marathon. He just walked to the edge of the village and back. His body ached. His mind screamed for him to stop, but he remembered the crack in the wall. The next day, he did it again and again. He added a small habit, just 30 minutes of study before he went out to play. He didn't tell anyone. He just did it. He watered his own wall every day, brick by brick. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Rohan's legs grew stronger, his mind sharper. His friends would call him to fly kites, but he'd finish his 30 minutes first. The discipline became invisible. It just became him. Then, one day, an announcement came. A recruitment drive for a government bank was happening in the nearby city. The exam was tough, requiring both physical endurance and mental sharpness. Most of his friends panicked, scrambling for notes, trying to cram a year's worth of study into a week. Rohan, however, felt a strange sense of calm. On the day of the physical test, hundreds of young men showed up. At the first whistle, many sprinted ahead, full of energy, only to collapse halfway, gasping for air. Rohan started steady. He wasn't the fastest, but he was the most consistent. His daily walks had built an engine that last-minute sprints couldn't match. He finished strong, barely out of breath. The written exam was next. While others chewed their pens trying to recall facts they had crammed the night before, Rohan read the questions and found the answers waiting for him. They were the fruits of those daily 30 minutes, patiently harvested. Weeks later, the results were posted. Rohan's name was on the list. He hadn't just passed, he had topped it. He ran straight to Baiji's tea stall, tears streaming down his face. "Baiji, I did it! The wall, it didn't break." Bhaiji poured him a glass of hot, sweet chai and smiled. I know, Beta, I saw you walking every morning. The secret isn't the big sprint, it's the daily walk. Remember, motivation is what gets you to the starting line, but habit is what carries you across the finish line. Rohan's life changed that day, but the lesson stayed with him forever. He became an officer, but he remained the boy who understood the power of small things. He realized that success isn't a single giant leap, it's a staircase, and you build that staircase one small, consistent step at a time. So here's the truth. You don't need to change your life tomorrow. You just need to change your 15 minutes today. Read 5 pages, walk around the block, drink a glass of water first thing in the morning, write down one thing you're grateful for. These aren't just actions, they are seeds. Water them every day with consistency, and one day you will be sitting in the shade of a tree you forgot you planted. Don't wait for the big moment, create the small ones. If this story planted a seed in your mind, hit that subscribe button. Join this community of daily walkers because the path to an extraordinary life is paved with ordinary, consistent steps taken one day at a time.